back again today, and continuing on with our deck list countdown as we get closer to the EX6's release. And mind the background noise and stand show as I had to move a little bit, change area in the room for recording this. Well, back to our topic at hand. Oh, before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and feel free to subscribe to pretty much help with the algorithm. Well, getting back into our topic, with today's deck list being on everyone's favorite good boy, Loogamon. With this being pretty much one deck that I've been piling pretty often. Well, going into the deck list itself, starting off with the eggs, we run 4 copies of the usual Balmon from BT16, who ends up being your little bit of battle trick and trash play, as Balmon allows you to digivolve into a Digimon you just trashed. And well, continuing on, starting off with our rookies, we have the usual lineup of 4 copies of BT16 Loogamon, who pretty much allows you to cheat out AG from hand or trash during the start of main phase, and is your go-to rookie and pretty much your combo starter. As well, you gain 1 memory off of tucking AG through this effect, and you pretty much gain 1 memory every time you play a Sons of Chaos or Dark Animal trait each turn. And going from there is, to add on to our Luga names, is 3 copies of BT15 Loogamon, who ends up being another Luga name and helps the deck pivot towards a purple-red identity. With this Luga having the 1 attacking to be able to snipe smaller bodies and even floodgates, and by trashing 1 card, thus saying, "Yup, you're trash," and also being able to draw 1 if he had AG tucked underneath this stack. And then for the inheritable, it's the draw 1 if the opponent has 1 or more memory. And to round off our rookie lineup is 3 copies of the new BT16 Ukomon, who is more or less a consistency piece for the deck, as you could either force the opponent turn by choking at 1, or pretty much be able to set up for turn. As well, either way, you move this out or have a Digimon move out from breeding, and you pretty much end up searching 1 card. Thus, this Ukomon is a consistency piece to help with the deck's overall game plan of setting up for the OTK. And continuing on, for our level 4 lineup, I end up running a 3-3 split of BT14 Loogamon and BT15 Loogamon. With this split mostly pretty much playing into the new identity, with the old Lugar pretty much just being another Lugar name and having a pretty much for the inheritable, while the newer Lugar is to play into some more other options within the deck, since you also have the instances of being able to set up your trash 1 digivolving and 1 attacking, and be able to draw 1 if AG is underneath. With Lugar, with these both having the same as their respective Loogamons. And adding on, since coming into our other meat of the deck, we also have 2 copies of the BT16 Tyrannomon for Sons of Chaos, pretty much being the blocker body of the deck, as well as being a cheated out searcher, since you get to search out and be able to get to it while also netting 1 trash set up. Continuing on, going into some old staples, I run 1 copy of the BT8 Black Automon, just for the good old reliable rush factor, and also that the retaliation inheritable for future plays. And then going from there, it is going to be 1 copy of Black God of Uber, just for that on play to snipe a likely problematic card from the opponent's trash, and being able to draw 1 off of it. And for the newest edition of the deck is the new Sethmon from BT16, who ends up being a armor form, but you likely not be choosing it, as this ends up being a Dark Animal free Digimon. And one aspect that ends up making this a very good choice that's been seen in the BT16 format since its drop for Loogamon is the fact that on attack and 1 Digivolving, you pretty much get to choose to delete one of your other Digimon, choose to delete one of your Digimon in general, to then snipe an opponent's Digimon with as much or lower or less than DP as the target. And this will play into it as we end up taking a look at our level 5 lineup for the deck. And going into it, this is where we've ended up seeing some changes. As for the Lugar one of the deck, I end up switching out completely for 4 copies of the new BT16 Solugar, who's a good substitute in the sense, in that when Digivolving, you get to trash 2 cards and then hit a 6000 DP or less Digimon to pop. But if you didn't pop anything, you get to revive a level 4 Sons of Chaos trait Digimon from trash, which is sort of the trade-off you get with this card, as you lack the Dark Animal searcher as the old BT14 did. However, that trade-off is pretty much sort of offset with the Ultrains effect, as pretty much if AG or Sons of Chaos Tamers, if any Sons of Chaos Tamers underneath this Digimon, while one of your other Sons of Chaos Digimon is deleted, this Solugar can then Digivolve straight into Fenriloogamon from trash at no cost, and specifically from the trash. And going from there, it then grants the inheritable of unsuspending if the opponent has 1 or more memory, which fits into Fenrir's playstyle, given that Fenrilooga pretty much prevents turn from being passed over unless the opponent's sitting at 3. Continuing on, we run 3 copies of Hellugar from BT14, which is pretty much better than the BT16 one, given that you're able to pop this Hellugar on more demand compared to the BT16 one, since you get the immediate gratitude, then pretty much waiting out for the BT16. And to finish up our level 5s, I run 2 copy of the new BT16 Dinobemon, replacing the old Chimera, the BT8 Chimeramons in the deck. as pretty much this Fenriloogamon can DNA off of a purple level 4 and red level 4, hence our lineup of level 4s, and has the keyword raid and the partition into purple level 4 and purple and red level 4, allowing this a lot more avenues to work off of if you manage to DNA Digivolve, as this actually plays into the other aspect of, well, free trait Digimon in this deck now. As if Dino B is DNA Digivolved, it gets to play out a level 5 or lower free trait Digimon from trash while paying cost, and then grants any Digimon on board Rush. This ends up works really well when you take into account Sethmon. And then, from there, it grants its partition onto any thing after itself in the stack. And then continuing on, for the only level 6 in the deck, it is the only 4 copies of the only Fenriloogamon that we have for the time being. With the Fenriloogamon pretty much being the usual spawn, pretty much reviving your bodies, pretty much, and then spawning a lot more bodies of AGs underneath in this stack. And then the normal OTK factor of pretty much multi-attacking and board removal, as well as the game breaking, preventing turn from being switched over until the opponent's memory is sitting at 3. And that ends up being the last of our level 6s. However, given how you still are given the BT16 format, there is also the possibility of throwing the new Dorugoromon from BT16 into the mix, as well. You run Sons of Chaos trait tamers in here and our Sons of Chaos trait deck, with Darugora being a more, well, control side of things, as you can collision to pretty much control the board or force unfavorable blockers as well as being able to then spot remove one Digivolving, and then the alterns of pretty much being able to unsuspend whenever another Digimon is deleted. And then going up, and that ends up running up the Digimon in the deck. We continue on with our Tamer lineup. And for the most part, with my build, I just run the normal package of full playset of AGs and a full playset of Analog Youth, with AG being pretty much the key tamer of the deck. As well, you use AG with Loogamon to then passively gain memory and granting your stack Alliance to then constantly beat face for the OTK. As well, we also run the normal 4 copies of Analog Youth just for the normal game recovery play whenever stuff like your Halugar gets deleted. And, well, since you brought up Dorugoromon, it pretty much wouldn't be that far off to pretty much throw the new BT16 Kosuke Kisakata into the mix as a memory tamer for the deck. As well, Kosuke is another Sons of Chaos search target off of your Tyrannos, and with Kosuke being able to mind link into any of your Sons of Chaos and X antibody trait, which the Loogamon line is, with Kosuke granting the stack Piercing and Blocker, And that's it for the tamer side of things. Next are our options. For the most part, I end up running my own way of the searching package of 1 purple mem boost and full playset of wisdom training. As pretty much your purple mem boost is there for pretty much memory gain, and then the wisdom training is there for pretty much expediting the evolution process. And well, and then for the rest of the deck, ends up being 1 copy of X Antibody Pro form, given how well it synergizes when you build up the Lovable line, as it pretty much allows, and also ends up helping with the game, as even if the stack that this is under is removed, you're able to recover 1 security and be able to recover 1, well, piece of your puzzle if the stack this is under is removed by effect. Well, is removed in general, really. Well, to be deleted, well, removed by deletion, really. Well, continuing on, it ends up being 1 copy of Delicate Plan. This is here pretty much for ensuring that you safely hit the OTK, as it pretty much shuts down all option effects for that turn. And well, rounding us off is a Calling from the Darkness, which ends up being another avenue in this deck, as you pretty much can use that to then combo off of your Soluga to then cheat into Fenrir for free on your turn, while also being able to recover 2 pieces. And well, from here, you can also throw into the mix either Miss Memory Boost, just to set up trash and be a memory gain option for the blame, and optionally playing the Demon Wolf of the Castle of 9 Wolves from BT16. Also another searching option for the deck, and is also pretty much a trash setter. As well, you're able to make use of that delay of being able to play out a Sons of Chaos trait from trash at reduced cost of 2. And well, and if you want to play towards that, another aspect that could possibly be thrown in would be something like the Sons of Chaos Fenriloogamon from BT16, since you could then, as another revive target besides Fenriloogamon or the Lovable line, since with this Doruga having the collision as well as having the on-play trash 1 to draw 1, as well as granting the stack it's under plus 1000 DP. And that's it for the deck portion of this video. Going into our combos now. For the most part, for your starting hand, you'll likely want to pretty much see 2 of your rookies, most optimally being Uko and one of your Lugas, since you could either choose to choke by digivolving for 1 into Uko going first, and then moving it out from breeding to then digivolve into a Luga in the back, and then pretty much aside from that, it's just some of your starter pieces as well. With the likes of trying to look for either have Lugamons in hand, or the likes of Fenriloogamon to just be a hard play going second to then search. And then second following that is obviously some of your other bits of searching pieces in the form of wisdom training or mem boost, just so you pretty much set up going into the game for later. And then obviously seeing analog youth, mostly analog youth really, out of your tamers to establish, since analog youth will then pretty much rack up and set up trash. And well, going from the normal combo, obviously given the Uko from the Luko line, or pretty much any further, pretty much seeing Lugam, and then either, since you could actually formulate things like this, with this optimal combo being moving Uko out from raising, and then Uko triggers, and likely seeing an AG or any of your other pieces show up. Since from there, you then have Uko triggering another hatch, and then go into Luga. And then from there is just playing other things to then set up. With Uko being a possible you could use or make use of next turn if it hasn't been removed going into it. So pretty much just throwing out your purple training just to set up your pieces in hand, since you could pretty much be quite explosive with this as well. Going into the explosive turn and having everything being in the optimal place, move Luga out, slot AG from trash or hand, gain a memory, pop your wisdom and or mem boost, go into Luga, mostly your BT16 Lugar, since you get to then pitch a card to gain extra DP, and then be able to draw one since AJ is in the source. Then it's just continued building from there. Obviously being, depending on how the game state is, have Lugar for rear removal and trash up and draw, or pretty much establishing your sole Lugar, either to pretty much just pop something when Digimon, or if there's no targets, being able to pretty much revive any of your most notable targets from trash, such as the normal package. Well, mostly in this build pretty much being Tyrannomon from trash, since the alternative lines of play pretty much see you either building other lines to pretty much from your other bodies and even your intended line to go into Dino B, since Dino B can revive the likes of Seth or Ukomon, heck, even another copy of Dino B that may have been in trash. Overall, the overall game plan is to either chip or pretty much go full explosive going into Fenrir to pretty much continue multi-attacking for a game. With the likes of Delicate Plan being played when you have a red body on board to ensure that you end up hitting game. And well, pretty much the whole overall game plan of the deck is still the same as usual. Beat down while beating them down with your furry, fuzzy little friend. And well, that has been my deck pro for the Fenriloogamon deck in BT16 format. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And this is Cyberjaw signing off.